All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Game of Thrones Season 7 rewatch review. We are at episode 5. It's called Eastwatch, so full spoilers if you have not seen this episode. Few things. I did announce a contest for Game of Thrones Season 8. There's a video for it where I'm giving away two collector's editions of the Game of Thrones Oreos. If you want to find out about that, go to that video. It's on the channel. The other thing is if you are liking the content, please hit the like button and subscribe. Share my videos with people. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers because YouTube is not letting me do live streams on my mobile device with under 1,000 subscribers. You'd be doing the channel a lot of help. I would really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe if you like the content. I hate asking like that. It's just the channel can't grow if YouTube's going to punish people for having not enough subscribers, and the content, the ways to film are limiting to us, or whatever. They're trying to limit us. So anyway, let's jump into this. I actually kept a script, sort of, for all the talking points, right? For basically each scene. And I got 18 things written down to keep me straight in this. Because this is so jam-packed. This is an hour episode. It says hour and 6, but if you count credits and the after stuff about how they made shit, you know, it's about an hour. Also real quick, I did a season 8 predictions video too as well this morning. You can check that out on the channel. I also show you the Game of Thrones Oreos. And there's also a guy named Gino Reynolds. He's got a channel called The Real Gino. It's R-E-E-L Gino. He has a Game of Thrones prediction video for who the odds of the people being on the throne for his channel. So if you want to check that out, if you like Game of Thrones content, definitely go to his channel and check it out and subscribe. He's got a really good channel. All right, so first off, this, goddamn, I know this season has problems. Definitely pacing, definitely too many time jumps, not explaining how things go on. Even in this scene with Jaime and Bronn, a lot of people had a problem with how they did that scene. Just logically and logistically, how did they get to where they are and all this other stuff. So people have been picking apart this season pretty hardcore. I still love it. I love this scene though because of Bronn. Right off the bat, it's just Bronn, because he's telling Jaime Lannister, what the fuck are you doing? Bronn still wants to get paid. But we also know that Jaime, just like with the kings, just with the Targaryen king that he killed, I forget if it's Rhaegar or Aegon, but I think it's Aegon. When he killed him because it was the right thing to do, he was able to stop the war immediately by doing this one thing. He saw the chance to kill Daenerys. He knew he could end the war right now. And he knew he was going to die. It was almost like a kind of fitting way for Jaime to go out, if it had happened that way. Because he killed the previous king, and he was, he was burning people alive, and then you could say that Jaime getting torched after killing Daenerys was kind of making things even away, almost like cleaning the slate, literally. I mean, he would have to die to do it. So it's nice well, I don't know if it's nice, but it's interesting to see what Jaime's thought processes are. That he, even though he's fighting for his sister, I might as well call her his wife at this point. It's just, he's still got honor, sort of, it's tainted honor, but it's still honor nonetheless. I mean, I didn't want him to kill Daenerys, but I mean, I get what he was thinking, and it doesn't help Bronn, Bronn still wants his shit. And so after this, we've got Tyrion kind of just looking around at the devastation and seeing, this is what the wars with dragons looked like before. And just kind of seeing it up close, like reading it in storybooks, you know, how Tyrion is very literate. And so he's already pictured all these things and now he's seeing it and it's giving him pause. Because then in the next scene, when she's got all the Lannister soldiers, you know, packed up there and telling him, look, I don't want to kill you. You just got to bend the knee and we'll all fight shit together. We're going to try to make this world a better place. If not, you die. And, you know, this Tyrion, when Tarly and his son, you know, both decide that they're not going to kneel, Dickon, because he's a moron, is about to die. And I know that this scene, the most important part of this scene is Tyrion trying to convince her not to do it. I happen to agree with her that these two want to be made examples of. That's what they should have been thinking about. Tarly and his son weren't thinking about what happens, you know, like there's reverse martyrs. Sometimes, you know what I mean? You torch a couple of dudes with some dragon fire right in front of you. And you see how many of those dudes just went down like, boom. And it was really well shot. I really, like, especially when they just show the guys and the dragon on the rock. Like, that is straight out of a fucking fantasy, you know, book cover. Or like some 80s album cover, you know what I mean? It was fantastic. But yeah, I don't care that she killed them, and I know that they're freaking out a little bit because of the Targaryen history of fire and burning people, but you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. And if the Tarleys were the eggs that needed to get broken to get shit done, well, then shit got done, didn't it? And so I think that's pretty awesome. What do we have here? Well, then we got Jaime making it back to King's Landing to talk to Cersei about how this ain't winnable. We're going to go down. And of course, this is why, you know, she's so dangerous. Because she's like, she don't care, like when he tells her about the army of the dead. Oh, that's later. That's later. This is where Jaime tells Cersei that Tyrion didn't kill Joffrey. And I love that her, you know, like the way she goes. Like, of course it's still true. You know, like, she won't give in until Jaime finally has to lay it all out for her about Olenna Tyrell. Pointing out how much of a monster their own child was. You know, who was she going to wind up with? You know, would she rather be with Joffrey or Tommen? Who could be controlled? Who would end up really taking the throne? All this stuff. And that's the shit that never, like, Cersei's so good about certain things, but man, she really kind of dropped the ball there without thinking that, I mean, her hatred for her brother was so consuming that she didn't see the other suspects. And so, I mean, maybe that's the way to take her down, is just put Tyrion in a room with her while everything's going on, and while she's distracted, you just take the whole kingdom. While she's trying to, like, you know, kill Tyrion and all. Because I feel like that's the only way you get her off her game, is to get her thinking about her brother. But now that she knows, I mean, it really doesn't change anything. Not really. Not in her mind. Because, again, she's in it to win it. And if she can't win it, you know, God help all of Westeros. Because she's just pointing out, like here in the episode, like what I've been talking about, is she's going to go down with the ship. She's going to take everyone with her if she has to. So, I don't know. Then we got Jon touching the dragon, you know, giving it, you know, showing even more, like, about, you know, the secret Targaryen shit that the dragon knows, but everybody else is, you know, still going, huh? But it also is like foreplay for Daenerys, it seemed. Like, she's like, ooh, shit. Like, but in this scene, and it is really scary when that dragon comes running up on him. I mean, there had to have been a little pee, right? A little pee came out. I mean, you can stand there and be frozen like deer in the headlights and be all stoic Jon Snow, but he peed a little. I would like to, he's still a person. But then we also get the return of Jorah Mormont, which I kind of thought maybe he'd like go, look, you know, I'm not all fucked up, like show her, you know, but I guess she wouldn't need to see it. You know, it's not like Jorah Mormont's ever lied to her before. So I don't know. I don't know why they didn't ask for it, but I guess at this point in the game, he came back. Why else would he come back? I don't know. So it's good to see them back together in the friend zone. When he hugs her and he looks at Jon Snow like there's a new competition, like fucking son of a bitch, this pretty boy's gonna take her now. God damn it, when's it gonna be Jorah's time? Maybe if Jorah and her are the last people left, then maybe Jorah would have a chance. Poor guy. We got Bran and the Ravens. Yeah. Just a little cool warging thing where he takes the ravens beyond the wall, and as soon as they see the Night King and he sees the ravens, he breaks Bran's control of them. So superpowers and shit are coming through. That's all for that. That's when they send out all the ravens to everywhere, and this is the next scene of them at the Citadel, where the Maesters are all a bunch of old white guys sitting there deciding the future of the kingdom by choosing whether or not to send ravens to all the other places about what's happening. Sound fucking familiar at all? And of course, they all just basically laugh it off and do nothing, which, is pretty much expected. I like Jim Broadbent in this. It was unexpected when he showed up in this show to me. He's a pretty good actor. I mean, he's a big actor. He's an Academy Award-winning actor. And they just made him a maester at the Citadel. I love that. I guess anybody just be like, what do you want me to be? I'll be a White Walker. I don't fucking care. Make me one of the undead out there. I don't care. Varys and Tyrion scene where they're discussing, them trying to figure out how to convince Dany not to keep burning people alive. All based on, their past experiences. But I really love this scene. Just these two always make gold, like as far as dialogue goes. This is just a fantastic back and forth as usual. That's why I like Varys and Tyrion and Littlefinger and all them are always like my favorites, because the dialogue is always so fucking smart. But them just kind of going over things in their life and how to do it, and just it wasn't me that was doing these things, it wasn't me that was burning those people, all that stuff. Like, it's just great. It's just great stuff. Jon then finding out about Arya and Bran, and I mean that pretty much shows like what kind of man he is. I mean, he hears that his family is back. It's time to go home. They've been apart for so long, and it's time to go fight the fight. And I love it. And I love Daenerys's like reaction to him leaving. Like, there's a pause. There's an emotional like he's going to leave me. So she already feels it. There's something that she probably can't explain, but I mean, she is seeing him in action, and she can say that he's a good looking man and he stands up for what he believes in and all this stuff. So what's not to love, right? So there, it's time to bail. Then we have the Sansa and Arya beef, where I love that Arya just kind of points out that she sees right through Sansa, and she sees right through all this stuff. But she does say, like, I know you don't want to think the thoughts that you're having, but it's just too much. Like, Sansa is still deep down, when you crack her, she's still that little girl. And if you can break her, she will return to that little girl. She may be strong and become a lot stronger, and honestly, a lot of it is due to Littlefinger and her seeing firsthand the politics and all that stuff and surviving it. But I also feel like she's always like having a very thin edge to it. That if you do the right thing, if you push her just hard enough, she'll crack. I really do feel that way. That's why I don't find her a strong character. And I've never liked her, is that I think she could just really backslide. And so I like that Arya kind of calls her out on her shit. That, and just like I said, I'm not a big Sansa fan, so anybody that puts her kind of in her place. But Sansa does have points as well, so I can't completely give it all to Arya, but, next up, it's Tyrion getting smuggled into King's Landing by Davos. Davos is just the greatest. He's another one with just the greatest like one-liners. Like and they don't sound like one-liners. They sound like really clever shit that you'd read in a book from a long ass time ago. Like Shakespeare quotes, like "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well," kind of thing. He's always got something smart to like, and funny to say, like kind of basically being grumpy, but nobody ever listens to me, you know. Yeah, he gets Tyrion in there. Bronn, he finds a way to get a hold of Bronn, who drags Jaime down to the dragon basement where they can talk about what's going on and about the army of the dead. And that, you know, they didn't bring it up. It is, you know, kind of a rough meeting because, you know, Tyrion trying to explain why he killed his father, you know, that stuff. But there's just certain hurts that you can't just talk through. And so just having the meeting is big enough, and explaining to him about the army of the dead and that there needs to be a time to talk about this. And that's all they're brokering for. And we also get the return of Gendry. Davos finds him in Flea Bottom, ready to go. I love that he's all ready to go. And even though I know people don't like this, there's people that don't like this, and that's fine. Because, yeah, what did they really need him for except for fan service? But like I've said, since they caught up to the books, it's all fan service, in my opinion. Just because they had that talk with George and he told him the end game doesn't make this, you know, any more just winging it, making it up as you go along. Because just like I've said, just because they know the end game doesn't mean that they have to follow any of it. They can make all this shit up now because there is nothing written down anywhere else to say that this isn't how it happens. But it is to me, it's fan service, and that's fine. I don't give a shit. We shouldn't be losing our minds over that. And I like Gendry, and I like that he's a go-getter, and he has a big-ass hammer, and he knows how to use it on Lannister guards, King's guards, it looked like, too. Wow, they just did not look, they looked really sloppy for King's guard. I guess that under, you know, maybe they were just castle guards, but still, they looked pretty sloppy. But nobody cares anymore now that they saw Tyrion, and then Gendry smashes their fucking faces in with the hammer. And that was awesome. Then we get Jaime telling Cersei what's going on. And she basically just, again, dangerous, man. Like Gino at Real Gino says, she's a gangster, man. She's a straight up gangster. You know what, though? I mean, she's more than gangster. Like, I don't know what's, you know, she's... Oh, man. I don't have words for what Cersei is. She is just an unbelievable, like, psychopath, man. I don't know, but she just already says it doesn't matter if there's dead men, dragons, whatever. We're going to fight it and we're going to kill it and we're going to win. That's people who win. I mean, even like Stannis and everybody else had their ways about them, right? They were always saying that they're going to win because of this reason. Oh, it's my right. Everybody's about what their rights. Cersei's done with rights and wrongs and everything. I mean, she just took the throne anyway, right? Nobody stepped up to stop her. She just took it. Kind of like Eddard said to Jaime in like season 1, like, why didn't you just take it? You know, he could have just taken it. Cersei's taken it, and she's in it to win it. And again, she's gonna fucking do something. And through this whole part, as they're meeting, I'm like, man, how is she gonna mess this up? How for everyone? How is she gonna blow this all up? And I forget a little bit of this, but yeah. Then she points out that she's pregnant, which, you know, true, not true, doesn't really matter. Either way, you know, this is all coming to a close. So I don't think that baby's gonna, even if she lives, she's probably giving birth to, you know, if Joffrey was the worst. I mean, then the next one probably, well, the kids started to get better as she had them. So maybe she'll have like the, you know, anti-Joffrey. Gendry comes back to with Davos to see Jon, where they all join up. My dad was your bro. We can be bros. Let's be bros together. Let's go fight some shit. That's what happens. And I love it. I liked it. I like that Gendry kind of talks to him like Robert talked to Eddard. And, you know, and that seriousness of Eddard's is still on Jon's face. So it's like, you know, the apples don't fall far from the trees in this situation. And Tyrion and Mormont, you know, kind of having their little playful goodbye. And then Daenerys, you know, who knows, saying goodbye to Jorah for possibly the last time. So, I mean, it's all very... But then we get Samuel kicking ass again. He's kind of like Eugene from The Walking Dead, where he's had a pretty big arc where his character has grown a lot as in courage, bravery, all that stuff. He's very much kind of the similar character. And this is where Sam just bails on the Citadel, takes some shit. Now, I do think that unless he knew what he was grabbing already, that was some pretty random book picking and scrolls. I mean, he could have been picking up, and it was dark. He could have been picking up like those books that he didn't want to read about, you know, like about how many steps and how many shits and all that stuff. But, and so I do have a little problem with that, unless they could have, hopefully they established that he knew what he was going after. But it sounded like he didn't, because he just said, hey, you know, we don't know what could be in there. It could kill the Night King forever. I think, like I still said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is all kind of a loop. And that, you know, it's just kind of like everything needs to be wiped clean and start again. And maybe, like I've said, in like Battlestar Galactica, see like if you can do it better the next time. Really close here, Arya and Littlefinger, the little game that's going on there. I do like it more this time because it's showing how smart Arya is, but it also shows you at the end when Littlefinger knew she was in there, showing that they're both kind of playing a game here. I still don't agree that, even though I like this stuff, I don't agree how they get in Baelish to this like last part. Like all of a sudden his brains are back. All of a sudden they're giving him something to do so it's, I don't know. And also scrolls are dumb. I look at them and I'm just like, oh my God, scrolls are dumb. They're so like, I don't know. They just look so fragile. They just suck. They need to figure out a better way to have things. And then we get Eastwatch and the Brotherhood without banners. Everybody making it there. We get this huge motley crew of guys, which is fantastic. It's like the fucking Dirty Dozen, man. Because you got the Hound, Sandor Clegane. You got Eric Dondarrion, right? Or is it Bondarian? I think it's Eric Dondarrion. Beric Dondarrion. Jesus Christ. You got his Red Priest guy. You've got Gendry. You've got Tormund. You've got Davos. You've got Jon Snow. And who the frick else is there? And Jorah Mormont. I mean, come on. I mean, I know it's more like 8, but come on. Like, okay, it's like the Hateful Eight. Heading out there to Eastwatch. I love the back and forth here. Everybody just keep playing their parts, and Clegane just cutting to the chase, like fucking just let's go. Are we going? You know? So that's Eastwatch. That's where it ends. Every time that gate goes up in under the wall, it gives me chills. But that's it for this review. I hope you liked it. I get really stoked whenever I do these. So, and this is why I made a script. So if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Share, bell for notifications. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Review saying we'll be back tomorrow with episode 6. Don't forget about the contests and all the other Game of Thrones content coming, and the premiere on Sunday. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.